Alright, coming back at y'all with another part of Battle of the Goats. And let's get right into it. Next up, we've got Code Geass. Code Geass, that was a pretty excellent show, it was. I would put it in. It's goated. Yeah, I know that would probably make a lot of people mad who watch the show and are big fans of the show. But no, I mean I actually did really like this show. Excellent main character, excellent main character. It's just that you know, any show that has like a lot of like political jargon, or at least there wasn't a whole lot of political talk until at least none that I found confusing until like near the end of it, where like there would be certain moments where like something big would happen, but I wouldn't completely understand why, just because of like how like the politics I guess behind it. I don't know. I'm kind of just dumb when it comes to stuff like that. So that's kind of the only reason why I put it in its go, just because I got a little bit confused towards the end, and also towards the end, the supernatural element got really crazy. Whereas throughout most of the show, it was pretty easy to understand with the supernatural element, and that was kind of like what made the show too. It was very like Death Note esque in terms of how they utilized the supernatural element. Without spoiling anything, but. Anyways, I mean, it's still an excellent show. Definitely highly recommend it. Next up, we've got, yeah, that's One Piece. And you know what? Never watched it. Never will. Yep, that's right, because One Piece is a super duper long show. It's still going. It's over like what, like 1,000 episodes? I ain't watching that. No siree, not watching One Piece, and there ain't nothing y'all can do to make me watch it. Alright, so anyways, now we're on to Bleach. Bleach. Where should I put Bleach? Cause I did really like Bleach at one point. Uh, I'm gonna have to put it in. This is gonna make a lot of people mad. It could have been great. Yeah, Bleach could have been great. So basically, I want to say the big problem with Bleach is that basically it kind of felt like a show that didn't really know what it was and what it wanted to be from the get go. Uh, Because I did watch a very interesting YouTube video about Bleach. I might be misremembering it. I could be wrong about certain aspects of this, but from what I know, the creator of Bleach, he never originally meant to have these characters like have their own show. Like, basically, he was just an artist who really loved like drawing like really cool stuff, and that's one of my favorite things about Bleach is the aesthetics. Like, the characters just look super cool. Like the transformations are super duper cool. That was when I was a kid. Whenever I'd see it on Adult Swim, I would be really, really, really tempted to watch it. But my parents told me to stay out of Adult Swim, so I would turn the channel whenever I'd see it on. But I would be really, really tempted to watch it just because of how cool it looked. But basically, uh, it was kind of like the story came after the characters were made, So at least that's what I remember from the YouTube video explaining the history of Bleach. And Bleach, it has some really cool concepts, really cool arcs. Like I was a fan of, I guess I'll call it the Rukia arc. That was really cool in my opinion. The very first few episodes, they were kind of like Monster of the Week ish episodes, which I was okay with. I mean, it was the beginning of the show, and it had a more like what do you call it, like slice of life vibe, which I was cool with that. The Bounce Saga, oh my god. Terrible. Terrible. I hated that saga. Like, it was so, so bad. I hated it. There was only one cool moment. One cool moment that I could remember from that saga. And then, after that saga, like, that was probably the next one after that. I'll just call it the Hollow Saga. That was probably, like, my favorite one. I really liked that saga. Yeah, lots of cool villains in that saga, but like overall in general though, to describe Bleach, it didn't feel very like, to put it simply, Ichigo, love the dude's design, love his transformations, but man, he didn't have much of a motivation at all in this show. Like, it was kind of like things just kept happening to him, like with his life, and he would just like respond to it. Like at the beginning of every episode, not every episode, but uh, like once he got his powers and all that, he would his he would say that his goal is to protect his friends, and that's cool. But what about personal goals? What do you want to do that isn't like fully like reactionary? You know what I mean? Like, cause you have Naruto, he wants to become the Hokage. What's another good example? You have Light Yagami, he wants to become the god of the new world. Like, you have, anime main characters who have, like, very memorable aspirations like that. Ichigo, though, kind of just draws a blank. Like, he doesn't really have any aspirations that I could think of. So that just, he didn't really push the needle for the story, so yeah, that's why I kind of put Bleach in. It could have been great because, overall the story just didn't have much of a focus for me. So, honestly, I would say it is a little overrated, but, personally, I just put it in a tier below that. But anyway, moving on to a true GOAT. Y'all already know Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Let me scroll up a bit. No, 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 no. I did watch this show, and I will watch it again because this show is a true GOAT. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is that show. It is that show, man. Like, this might be a weird comparison, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would say, is like the Breaking Bad of anime. Like, because it's 5 seasons long, just like Breaking Bad was. It's like the ending, the last, I think they call them books in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I might be wrong about that, but anyway, the last part of the show, no, I think they call them parts. The last part of the show was the best part, just like how I think Breaking Bad season 5 was the best season. It's just excellent show, excellent characters. My God, it has some of the coolest scenes in anime history. Like, it's funny. I remember my first exposure to this show was in high school. I randomly just like tuned into Adult Swim. Well, I guess it's technically Toonami. I randomly tuned into Toonami and this show was on, and without spoiling anything, it was an episode from the last part, and it involved the character Envy and Roy Mustang, and like, it was such a crazy, crazy scene, crazy episode, and mind you, I had no idea what I was watching, but I knew it was Full Metal Alchemist, but I had no idea what was going on with this episode, but all I knew was that whatever I was watching was epic. Like, it was just like so cool, and like, it was definitely an episode that made me want to like watch the show and understand what was going on. Like, I just knew whatever I was watching was just wild. And like, yeah, I totally wanted to know the full context. And a few years later, I got to watch the show on Netflix. Did not regret it. Did not regret it. Absolutely loved it. Now, moving on to the original Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, so This show, I'm gonna put it in this category right here. Haven't watched it, but I might. Now, I know that might seem weird that I haven't watched the original, but here's the thing. I actually did, excuse me, I actually did watch the first 8 episodes, I think it was. I don't think the show is very long. Um, the reason why I stopped after like the 8th episode or something is because the last one I watched, it felt very like filler-ish. Like not a whole lot of interesting stuff happened in that episode, and I was kind of like the show it wasn't bad. Like I liked it, but I was just like, is this really a show I want to like keep watching? Especially when like I looked up reviews on like comparing the original and Brotherhood, and like I noticed it was kind of a landslide. Like Brotherhood is considered one of the best animes ever made, and then this one, while it's not like a bad anime and it's not like ill received, it's kind of just like it's like a good anime, but not like like top tier. It's not like a must watch. But I might watch this show because I do hear it's really good in its own right. And what's funny is, I think I stopped watching this show like literally the episode right before it was about to get interesting. So like I stopped at the worst time. And just for full context, after I stopped watching this show, that's when after I dropped this show, I went straight to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I wish I didn't do that, just so I could have more of an appreciation for this show, because, obviously, whenever I do get back to Full Metal Alchemist, the original, whenever I do get back to it, I'm probably gonna constantly compare it to the Brotherhood, which, that's probably gonna deter the show a bit, but it is what it is. Brotherhood, I mean, like while I haven't finished the original, like I'm pretty sure Brotherhood, just based off reviews and like pretty much every video I've watched comparing the two, like it's kind of just the objectively better show. But like, I mean, I do really want to like get back into this show to like, just to give it some love because I'm sure it deserves it. But anyways, moving on. We've got now. I noticed this is like the JoJo in the front of this picture is from the third part. Uh, so I'm guessing this is just like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in general, not any specific part. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm gonna put this in overrated but still good. Ultimately, I think it depends on which part you're watching, because the main characters, the JoJos are like vastly different from each other depending which part you're watching. They're all like literally related, like they're all different generations of JoJo. You start off with Jonathan Joestar, then you get Joseph Joestar, then it's Jotaro Kujo, and then Josuke, I can't remember his last name, and then you get I can't remember the other one's name. But anyways, after him you get Jolene, and yeah, they're all like I believe they're all related to each other, and they all go by JoJo. So yeah, this show, like, it's a very like meme to show. Like so it's definitely like an icon in its own right for sure. Dio is hilarious. Like he's like in my opinion he's like a really entertaining antagonist. Definitely one of the most memorable characters in the show. Uh Joseph Joestar is an amazing main character. He's definitely my favorite JoJo in the series. I still have yet to catch up with part 6, which is Jolene's part. I still have yet to catch up with that. She's pretty good, but no, I mean Joseph Joestar is kind of like untouched in my opinion. Like he was one of my favorite anime main characters by far. Uh, But yeah, I mean, overall, as a show, I do think it's a little overrated. Part 3 drags out like way too long, in my opinion. Part 4 was really, really good. I liked the slice of life feel to it. Part 5 could have been better. Part 6 is pretty good so far, but I need to get back into it. Part 1 was kind of run of the mill. Like, I mean, it does have its own little like charm just because of how like the main character is like pretty, he's like a wholesome like chivalrous main character, and then Joseph Joestar comes in part 2 and just like steals the show, like literally. But yeah, not too many strong opinions about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'll just leave it at that. Here we have Chernobyl. Never watched it, but I might. It's one of the highest rated shows on IMDb. That's why I added it. I figured I may as well just throw it in here. It's definitely one of the greats of all time on an objective standpoint. Never watched it, but I might watch it. It seems interesting. Uh, oh boy, boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy. We've got quite the show right here. Game of Thrones. Yes, this is quite the behemoth of television, and man, oh man, this one was one of the greatest shows of all time for like a solid 6 seasons. But here's the thing about Game of Thrones. A lot of it depended on the ending. Did they stick the landing? No. No, they did not. So, ranking Game of Thrones in this list is pretty tricky, but I gotta go by the ending. 2 seasons that went from mid to trash. You have a show that at its peak was phenomenal television, and then you end it with season 7 that was mid, and then followed up by season 8, which was trash. As much as I would want to put this in true GOAT category, I can't ignore how they ended it. So, Game of Thrones, I'm sorry, but you could have been great. Could have been great. It's a real shame what they did to this show. It is a real shame. I wish they would have just waited for George R. R. Martin to finish the series, like the book series, instead of just doing their own thing, because, yeah, those guys, they did not know what they were doing, man. That was not it. That ain't it. Oh boy, anyway. More Game of Thrones content to talk about. We got House of the Dragon. Now, I'm happy to say that this was a pleasant surprise. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's goated. I don't think it's overrated. I think that House of the Dragon was a very pleasant surprise. I watched this with my friends. I was worried he may have been like overhyping it a bit, but no, it's a pretty good show. I liked it, and it's only 1 season long so far. So, oh, and that season finale. Ooh, ooh, that was a good season finale. That was, really good season finale. Now, for those of you who don't know, House of the Dragon is a prequel to Game of Thrones. So technically, see, what sucks about it is that I think Game of Thrones actually like spoils like the plot of this show. So that's a real shame, but I mean, it's a show that like you'll enjoy the journey at least. Like, now I don't think, now to be perfectly honest, I don't really remember like how they spoil the plot of this show in Game of Thrones. But I'm not gonna look it up because I'd rather just be surprised as I watch this show. So yeah, it's goated. It's pretty good so far. If it keeps up the quality, I might even put it in True Goat. So yeah, it's pretty solid show. Speaking of true goats, though, we got Teen Titans, and I'm just gonna put it in true goat category. No, 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 no. This is going all the way up here, all the way. Teen Titans. Now, I am a little biased because Teen Titans was the very first show that I was able to watch from beginning to end as a kid. Like, I wish I could have said that for Avatar: The Last Airbender, but because Teen Titans, I love the show, but it's not as good as Avatar: The Last Airbender. But no, I mean, I am a little biased because of that, and also, I mean, also it's still just a solid show. Like I watched it as an adult, and I still love it. I still think it's a great, great show. It's a great cartoon. Uh, the real shame about it though is just how they started a season 6 with episode 1 of season 6, and then it got canceled, and they just left us with way more questions than answers, and that was a real shame. Because honestly, I mean, season 5, the way that one ended, like that could have just ended the show, honestly, because that was a really good ending to the season. Although, if I'm being perfectly honest, like the conflict in season 5 and the plot of that season, I wasn't like it felt like, as far as stakes went, it kind of felt like a step down from season 4, but either way, it was still a solid show, and I think it's rated pretty low on IMDb for what it is. And it's like, nah. It's like a 7.7 or something like that. No, no way. No way. It is not a 7.7. I love Teen Titans, man. I gotta throw some respect on his name. And speaking of throwing some respects, we got another one. We got another one, y'all. We got Monster. Monster. It is a true goats. We got true goats. True goats galore, y'all. People, they know what they be talking about, man. Monster's got like a 8.6 in IMDb. They may not have known what they were talking about with Teen Titans, but Monster is goated. It's goated, true goated. It is such a good show, man. You may not like it too much because it's a bit of a slow burner, admittedly, but it is a really good show. If you like shows that have, where the structure is like self-contained stories within episodes, but they have like an overarching plot. Monster is kind of like a perfect show for that, in my opinion. Like it has episodes that start off with characters that you've literally never even seen before, but you know what? By the end of that episode, you love that character. like, especially, not to spoil anything, but there's a character you meet named Grimmer, and man, oh man, he will steal your heart. But in a wholesome way, not like a romantic way, because that would be kind of weird for coming from me. So, but nah, I mean, it's a fantastic show. Johan is like one of the most intriguing antagonists in anime, like hands down. Like I mentioned earlier, Grimmer is one of my favorite wholesome characters in anime. I love that character. It's got a whole lot of characters. Like even there are like one-off characters in this show, like literally characters you just see for one episode that I remember vividly because of the presence they had and in just the single episodes that they had. Like this show is like just solid, just very, very good anime, very good. It's on Netflix. I don't know if the dub is on Netflix yet, but last I checked, it was just the Japanese. Which, I mean, if you prefer subs, that's great. But plebes like me prefer dubs, so that was a little disappointing. Video's getting a little long. Naruto. You know what? I'm just gonna leave y'all in suspense and just end the part right here before I get into Naruto. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye.